In this video, I'll introduce you to our framework for forecasting COVID-19 infections and deaths. At the core of our framework is a software product called SyncroSim. Essentially, SyncroSim allows users to easily access models and data made available by others online in a variety of formats, and then to combine these models and data with their own local models and data in order to generate the best possible forecasts for their jurisdiction. Users also have the option to publish a subset of their forecasts back online for others to access. So the first step in using this framework is to download SyncroSim. So you can do that from our website, syncrosim.com. Once you have that on your local desktop, like I do here in Windows, first step is then to go get one or more models, as we've shown here. Get one or more models from those available online. So we do that in SyncroSim by going File, Packages, and here we're displaying a list of the currently installed models, of which there are none. So I can go to the SyncroSim model or package server and pick from a list of SyncroSim compatible models. There's one here that we've created for demonstration purposes for modeling epidemic infections and deaths. This is an open source model on GitHub. And so I'm going to select that model and bring it into SyncroSim. So I now have one model I can work with here from online. And the next step then is to go get some data online to work with this model. So we do that by going File, a new library, and we create a library. A library in SyncroSim is just a collection of model inputs and outputs associated with one or more models. And here we see that at the moment there's one data set available compiled to use with this model for predicting COVID-19 infections and deaths in Canada. So I'm going to pick that particular reference data set and bring it over to my local computer, and SyncroSim locally now fires up with that data set loaded for that particular model. You can see that it was updated yesterday, so it has the very latest death data included in these scenarios, and this particular set of inputs contains 7 scenarios, one representing the country of Canada as a whole under a certain set of assumptions here that the current public health measures continue into the future, and then in addition, similar scenarios for each of the 6 major provinces. So let's take one of these scenarios, the one for Ontario, and take a look at it. So here we've opened up one of these scenarios, and we can see that we can access a number of different model inputs that have been set up for this scenario. For example, here the deaths, we can look at the death data that's been loaded, and I can see here that this has automatically provided me with Ontario death data up until 2 days prior to today. And there are other parameters in here as well. For example, here I can go to the Run Control tab and set how long I want to run the simulation for. Let's go to the end of June. I'm going to trim down the number of Monte Carlo simulations for this demonstration to make things run a little faster. So I can set and modify whatever parameters I like. I've done that. I can save those changes locally, and then I can choose to run that scenario. So now I'm running this scenario. It's taken the inputs that I have set up for that particular scenario and passed them through the model that I selected, and is now going to generate for me forecasts that combine that model with those particular scenario inputs. So here at the bottom now we can look at the results of that forecast. Here is the results shown graphically. In this model, this particular model predicts both deaths, you can see daily deaths, and cumulative deaths over time, along with infections, both daily and cumulative. Other models may project slightly different things. So that's the framework in a nutshell. In the next video, I will talk a little bit more about how to configure this thing locally for your specific jurisdiction and to set up one or more policy alternative scenarios.